OCD is a master at making us feel hopeless. It kind of creates this idea that we're completely stuck, that no matter what we do, we're not going to be able to find a way out of the trap. And obviously, that's a really difficult place to kind of find yourself. In today's episode, I'm sharing three very clear things that you can do when you find yourself in this situation so that you can have a bit more hope and to realize that you're really not as stuck as you might be telling yourself. Tip number one is to stop measuring progress by how you feel. So often, this was what I was doing myself in the past. I struggled with OCD for a long time without even kind of knowing what it was. And, for many years, the thing that I was trying to do was just trying to get rid of the difficult emotions. Actually, that's kind of at the heart of OCD. And, we are going to get anxiety sometimes. It doesn't matter if you struggle with OCD or not. Everybody is going to experience anxiety. Sometimes that's going to be much stronger anxiety. Sometimes there's going to be other difficult emotions that come up with that, particularly with OCD, such as shame, frustration, guilt, anger, lots of very uncomfortable, difficult emotions. And if we judge our success on whether we experience those emotions or not, really what we're doing is we're kind of setting ourselves up there for failure. Because we are going to get those difficult emotions. It doesn't matter how evolved we become as a person. And if you're struggling with OCD, I do offer a free discovery call. To get that, you can head over to my website, robertjamescoaching.com. There's a link in the show notes. If you're judging your success on whether you experience difficult emotions or not, then of course you're going to be playing a very difficult game with yourself. If instead you can, judge your success more on, are you still showing up in your life? Are you still doing the things that need to be done? Are you at least practicing things like exposure and trying to live your life despite the fact that OCD might be there in the background sometimes? If you're able to do those things, and that's a much better measure of your progress than how you're feeling on a day-to-day basis, because obviously that can change and go up and down. Tip number two is to remember that there are evidence-based strategies for OCD, and that's really, really important to know that actually there is hope. That if you are willing to actually kind of reach out for that help, to work with a therapist, a coach, somebody that can support you through that process, that is potentially a game changer. So there's things obviously like exposure response prevention, acceptance commitment therapy. Both of those tools are evidence-based, meaning that they have a lot of research behind them, proving that they can be very beneficial for people with OCD. It's so important that we remember that there is support and help out there, but we have to make sure that we try our best to find a way to kind of reach out and try to get that support. And there are also other methods that may not be evidence-based but do seem to be supportive for things like OCD and anxiety. Straight away, I'm thinking of the Wim Hof method, which when practiced in a safe and responsible way can be very, very beneficial. Certainly in my own personal experience, doing cold exposure and the breath work as it's set out and taught in the Wim Hof method, it really helped me to bring much more acceptance to discomfort. It helped me to find more relaxation and peace. And that's just one kind of tool. There's so many different tools out there, whether that's meditation, whether that's different forms of breath work. There's many different things out there. And I think that can be hopeful to kind of remind yourself that there's different avenues, there's different things to explore that can help you to feel better. Exercise is a really good one of those. Yoga, no matter what it is, if you're willing to explore and kind of experiment, you can find different things that may help you to kind of manage your anxiety and manage OCD a lot more effectively. And tip three is to anchor yourself in a bigger picture. OCD wants us to really fixate on the things that are not right in our lives, to really narrow our attention down onto those obsessions and, trying to get certainty about those things. But of course, the problem with that is the more that we kind of indulge that, the more that we, perform compulsions looking for that certainty, the more stuck that we get. If instead we can learn to kind of widen our attention and to focus much more on our values and our goals, the things that make life meaningful and interesting. When we widen our attention like that and focus on other things, we try to take in, the kind of meta narrative of our lives, rather than focusing in on that kind of negative, narrow narrative. It really helps us to kind of start taking action, to realize that, perhaps there's many things that are going well in our lives. And yes, OCD is here. It is a very difficult thing. And of course, when you're dealing with that, it can feel like it kind of takes over. But if we can find a way to actually widen our attention and to focus on other things that might be going well, to take action despite the fact that we're not kind of feeling right in that moment, to focus on other things that are meaningful to us despite OCD being there in the background. This is a great way to begin to kind of be a bit more hopeful, because when you start taking the actions of a hopeful person, I think often those feelings of hope actually begin to kind of appear in our bodies, and we start experiencing the emotions that we want to feel. But if we just kind of wait around and kind of hope that those things are going to show up without taking any action, of course, it's unlikely that that is going to happen. So, I know it's very difficult when you're struggling with OCD and you begin to feel hopeless. But, these 3 steps that I've set out today, I think they can be really, really beneficial. And if you are struggling right now, I do offer a free discovery call. To get that, you can head over to my website at robertjamescoaching.com. There's a link in the show notes. And really hope that you enjoyed that. If you have any questions at all, do please let me know. And I will see you next time. This video is for education only. It's not therapy or medical advice. If you're struggling, please speak with a licensed mental health professional.